Close.
Kidding me?
No. He don't want to. He wouldn't come here anyway. Please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. This time we'd like to call the regular board meeting of the Farmington Central Community Unit District School District number 265 to order. Roll call. Roll call, please. Brewer?
Here.
Brawley?
Here.
Johnson? Here. Marr? Here. Oldfield? Here. Slack?
Here.
Stanley? Here. All right. Welcome, everybody. First of all, we'd like to start off with the Farmington Central Junior High Be Nice presentation. Mr. Upmore.
Hello, again, thank you again for letting us have some time to do this. I've got A lot of really amazing things going on at junior high, but it's time to recognize these awesome kids that get that whole amazingness going on. So I'm going to start with our 6th grade September Student of the Month, which we have 2 of them. The first one, his name is Elliot Black, and this is what his teachers had to say. Elliot is our mini tech guru. He will be the junior high secret weapon to one-to-one technology. He is helpful to his peers, kind and eager to help when anyone has a need, whether it is tech-related, a locker that needs organized, or someone who needs guidance with classwork. Elliot is a proactive leader, unafraid to step up to a challenge. Elliot is a valuable member of the cross-country team, student council, chorus, and band, where he serves as a band officer. So all those awesome things makes him a Student of the Month.
Last year, and he made a website for the.
Oh, nice. Good job.
Thank you very much for what you do.
Don't wander off too far.
Yeah, we're going to get some pictures, so you want to stand over here and get some pictures. Our next student is another 6th grade student. That's Maddie Leto. Maddie comes to school prepared to do the job at hand. She is helpful to her fellow classmates as well as her teachers. When Maddie sees a need, she steps up to help and isn't concerned about getting acknowledged for it. She leads by example. While she has a quiet, encouraging spirit, she also is enthusiastic and fun. Maddie is a valuable member of the cross-country team, student council, chorus, and band, where she serves as a band officer. So all of those amazing reasons gives her Student of the Month for September. A couple of 7th grade students to present to you now. Our first one is Calvin Rudd. Calvin is a fantastic leader. He is usually the first one to class, eager to learn, curious, and is always willing to help. Calvin is always respectful and is always very polite. He is a great role model to all other students. Calvin has a great sense of humor and works well with his classmates. Calvin can be seen after school at the local library, helping out the younger students with different clubs the library has to offer. He represents the character of the Student of the Month well. So, Calvin, congratulations.
You like that tie, especially when you tie it.
Thank you.
My other 7th grade student is Jillian Lancer. Jillian is extremely helpful to the teachers and students. She steps up and goes out of her way to problem solve when someone is having trouble with anything in class. Jillian reaches her goals consistently and is polite to her teachers and classmates. She finds ways to avoid conflict and encourages others. She has a kind heart. Jillian holds herself to a very high standard, applying her strong work ethic across disciplines. For those reasons, Jillian is our September Student of the Month for 7th grade. Our 8th grade Student of the Month is Caden Reckers. Caden is very helpful and a curious student. He is always engaged in classroom activities. He asks questions and challenges our teachers and peers to think deeply about what they are learning. He has a unique perspective on things. Caden is a very kind individual, and he is an outstanding leader. So congratulations to Caden for being the 8th grade Student of the Month. Our last 8th grade student for our Student of the Month is Avery Neal. Avery is the student that always has a smile on her face. She She is very helpful to the other students and is very respectful to her teachers. She has a great positive personality that rubs off on everyone when she is around. She is a great example of what a leader should be. So congratulations, Avery, for being the 8th grade student of the month. So again, the reason why I believe that things are going so amazing at the junior high is because of students like this. So thank you for letting me share them with you and the community.
Thank you.
Go out in the hallway and take a picture, okay? And parents, feel free to come out when good opportunity for you.
And now, Mr. McMillan, the Farmington Central High School students.
Building upon what Mr. Upmore has started, we're also going to now acknowledge Students of the Month at the high school. So I'm going to acknowledge our September and October. In addition, we've also started a new tradition, which I'll just share with you. I'm pretty proud of that our OHI committee came up with. When we were discussing ways to improve school culture, our teachers came up with the idea of recognizing more students. So we now also have a freshman, a sophomore, and a junior senior student of the month. However, those 3 individuals will all head engagements from what I gathered tonight, so I'll start acknowledging them at the next board meeting when they can all be here. We will have certificates, however, we'll present our certificates to these students in a ceremony in May. So for September, our student of the month was Devin Johnson. Here, Devin. Farmington Central High School selected Devin Johnson as September Senior of the Month. Devin is the son of Kelly Bowers and Kelly Jenkins. He has 4 siblings, Ryan Tucker, Rudy Tucker, Kelsey Jenkins, and Stephanie Jenkins. Devin excels academically as he is in the top 10% of his class. Along with his studies, Devin is involved in various extracurricular activities, which includes jazz, hoop, concert band, math team, chorus, and game club. He's also a member of the theater department, will serve as drama club president. In addition to his extensive involvement in school, Devin finds time to give back as he volunteers in the community. He provided musical entertainment for young children at DBS, served as a volunteer at Sam's, where he's responsible for multiple jobs, and worked the annual theater spring blood drive. He plans on attending the University of Illinois next year, will major in psychology. Congratulations, Devin. And our October Senior of the Month is Dalton Powell. Dalton is the son of John and Tara Powell. He has 3 siblings, Morgan, Michaela, and Spencer Powell. Dalton is a strong academic student as he's in the top 20% of his class. Along with his studies, Dalton is involved in various extracurricular activities, including football, basketball, and harvest team, which he was voted 2019 Member of the Year. In addition to his involvement in school, Dalton finds time to give back as he volunteers within the community. He helped put flags throughout Farmington to honor Sergeant Douglas Riney, worked at concession stands at Jacob Park, and placed the flags on the graves of veterans for Memorial Day. He plans on attending Iowa State University next fall, where he will major in engineering. Congratulations, Dalton.
Moving on. Consent agenda. Consent agenda items are for you. Items 1 through 6. Need a motion to second to approve the consent agenda. Second. Any discussion there?
Yeah, we're going to clarify in number 1 within the minutes from previously that Mr. Stanley did not vote no to all of it, everything. There was one item,
Copy and paste.
and, so we'll clarify that,
Yeah.
and I hope you guys can accept that within,
It appears you look through it, the motion that passed 7-0, but it still said I voted no. I think that was just,
Yeah.
no big deal. I didn't catch either Alex on it and said, well, you sure vote no, which is true.
who was the second? We had a motion from first.
Chad.
And then we're going to pull the bills, number 2, and we're going to discuss and vote for that separately. So your consent agenda for your motion and your second. I guess I'm asking you to amend your motion to be for items 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So your consent agenda action items, presuming that you are comfortable with the amendment, because the superintendent cannot amend, so one of you 7 need to amend.
So
You have your motion,
I move to amend the motion to include not voting on the bills.
correct.
Second.
All right?
There you go. So you're the motion, I'm the second.
All right, and we got to vote on that.
Roll call on that.
You have some idea what's going on here, right?
I do, I got it.
Okay, he's got it, that's good.
Roll call on the second.
Okay, Frowling,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Marr.
Yes.
Oldfield,
Yes.
Slack,
Yes.
Stanley, yes, Brewer.
Yes.
See, I did that wrong, that one should have dropped down.
Now, we need a discussion on the bills.
No, you need a motion and a second.
So I did this one right.
So moved.
Second.
Now we got this.
All right, now we got a discussion.
Now we're gonna discuss.
All right.
Would be even,
Anything.
well, yes, and it'd be even better if I brought my notes tonight.
So I think I can recall the questions.
Okay.
I can't specifically recall the check numbers, but we had a bill that we did, the wrap down the hallway from the athletic. And that's, that was, it was around $11,000, slightly over $11,000. And that comes out of your sales tax campus enhancement.
So that's one thing that I really want to know. It said it come out of capital.
Yeah, that's out of capital, that's 60. So your
Well,
capital
60.
money is basically funded through your sales tax monies.
Okay.
Fund 61 is the bonded money specifically for
Right.
the construction project.
It wasn't a Fund 60, that is correct. Well, I guess my thing, did anybody catch it was $11,000? I've seen it, it looks
Yeah.
nice, but I was
I haven't
surprised it was
seen it.
$11,000.
Went down and seen it. Well, I was gonna actually ask about, are we gonna keep expanding on that to,
I hope not.
well, there have been questions and concerns about
Yeah.
expanding it to make sure that we add everybody or have everybody in there. Are we gonna do anything like that, or?
Well, I would encourage you all to walk down there and I don't value it as $11,000, that's my thing. And I kind of, where do those decisions, I mean, how are those actually made, I guess? Is that a fair question?
Well, moving forward, I think it'll be a lot more clear because it'll be within the buildings and grounds. You all review all of those and you can have discussions about them right here. So it would have come out of general discussions when we were within the buildings and grounds, walking around, doing campus tours and looking at it. So, but I think we're going to be more concrete in our memorializing of those conversations and those types of decisions moving forward.
Okay.
But I couldn't point to a specific
Well,
time
no,
when we said
and-
we're doing this.
Well, I mean, I just wondered, I mean, because ultimately, some people didn't even like the thing, you know, they didn't want
A
covered up,
lot
so.
of people didn't like it. I had a lot of comments
Right.
from students.
So,
They felt comfortable talking to me, unfortunately.
That's good.
But I mean, is there something we can do, like have somebody paint over the parts that aren't, or change it? I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it
But
yet.
is there any way
I
that
don't
we
think
can
it's a-
change it
Oh,
to
the
make it
historical-
more,
I don't think.
as it's from the students and not just
Yeah, but-
somebody picking out a catalog thing and saying, here, put this up?
Okay, but what about students who really like it?
Well, you've walked down there, right, you've seen.
I think there can be changes made. So
You can-
that,
I don't, you have to look at it, because I don't think you wanna change it.
Yeah, and you can clearly see the intent was not to slight the band at all or anything like
I
that.
would agree.
They just threw a stock photo in there, not thinking what they were doing. If it would have been
Yeah,
another,
and that's a different issue, but as far
but,
as
I mean, it was,
connected, but.
had they not put a stock photo of the band in there, this never would have came up. It would have just been, that is pretty cool. Until it got to $11,000, now they give you a heart attack, of course, but
yeah.
I think it'd be hard to fix too, it'd be hard to fix.
It would. I
think
think, to me, it's easily cleaned, number one. I think it's something you don't paint over.
I assume long-term someday you would come off, right?
Yep, you take it down, you put a new one up,
Yeah,
maybe.
that's what I would think, yeah.
Maybe.
Well, maybe, right? But I mean, it's not something that, you're not gonna change it every year. It's not-
No.
I mean,
It's there.
How long do they last? I don't even have any idea.
It's bound to last that soon.
I would
Yes.
assume a long
And
time.
Yes.
without the UV rays hitting it, it's
I
hard to
took,
say.
I took some pictures of it and sent it to some of the alumni that are my friends, and they thought it was really cool.
Oh, it is. I would
It
love
is
to
a-
see put it on there.
It's a, yeah, that
It
would
would
have
have been, but anyway,
I
let's
mean,
not keep that dead horse.
well,
I don't like to spend money, so.
As far as, and I don't take this the wrong way to please anybody, as far as current students, I mean, most everybody, actually everybody up here, except for Dr. Chatterton, has either graduated, went to, or is going to Farmington School. So we're all students of this school. I mean, there's always certain things that you like and dislike about your school and certain memories that you have. My memories are down to old high school. My dad and his company put the gym floor, or removed the old gym floor and watched them put the new one in. So my memories are down there. So what students like right now, 10 years from now, they might not like it at all. You don't know. I mean, it's,
You just gonna live with it for a while.
yeah, and things change. I mean, I remember when that wall was perfectly white. I think mine
Everything
didn't.
was white.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
Hospital.
Yeah.
So I think that we have a means for communication that the board won't be as surprised by the number within the bills. You would see it prior to the.
Less surprised to make it less painful, how's that, I guess.
So, I know that there was an inquiry regarding the cabinetry that was put up out in the maintenance / activities shed. Okay, remember, half of it's being used for a football staging area, and it's just a catch-all right now, but eventually, we're gonna have the theater department in there, the athletic department in there, and then the third is gonna be reserved for my discretionary use, meaning the carryover, but it's going to stay clean in that portion. So there's cabinetry that was out there that was sitting on top of some lockers, and it needed to be mounted and secured, kind of had me nervous, and for long-term usage. So we went ahead and had a contractor come in and put that up, mount it. It's really nice, it's sharp, there's a little additional storage I think we put on the theater portion of it as well. We got a safety ladder that has the OSHA approved stair that's gonna be there so you can access it, but it's up high enough that you can drive like a truck in there to be on the road and things like that. So it's just part of what the work needs to be done.
So it's part of the renovations to make that building more what it's intended to be instead of a lot.
That's correct. That's correct. There was inquiry regarding the ice machine that's across from the wrap. All right, so I don't know the full historical significance on how an ice machine came to be in a mock. But I know that there was some, if you talked historically with the previous director of maintenance and the previous director of activities, it was a very sore subject that nobody would talk about, and there was a lot of finger pointing. The end of the moral of the story is, though, that we had an ice machine that did not always function because of the way it was rigged up. I firmly believe that we need to have ice available for, students with injuries or athletes, and it has to be pretty readily accessible to where injuries are most likely to occur. So I think that's kind of why I was in there. We don't want the ice machine that's used for our kitchen services to be readily accessible by people. So we had to secure that, and and update it, put the ice machine in the right way, have it wired right, had it plumbed right, and then we have the electrical, so we had to secure the electrical, and then to be able to make it semi-visible and not a mop closet, we put a glass door in there, so it's, you can look in there at all times and see what's going on, and it's no longer a mop stand.
But it was a really expensive ice machine.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Oh, yeah, it is.
you guys caught all those bills for the ice machine? Woo, okay. I understand its purpose, but wow. Because we walked in with Doug and he said it was replaced and it got replaced and the bills, electrical and the fence, like, geez, okay.
Yeah.
It was, when it first got put in there, it was a, like I said, a source subject, but it was just literally, well, fine, we'll put it here.
Yeah, I think we had somebody out to repair it at some point, and they basically said it was put in absolutely wrong.
Yeah,
It was as far as plumbing and everything went, so it was, that's why, again, we're fixing something that should have been done right the first time.
So, the Skidster, Buildings and Grounds met extensively about that. I guess it'd come up more
Are we gonna talk about that during our,
within the committee, but that lease, Doug did, Mr. Lentz did sign the lease. I've sent the lease to the insurance company for all our coverage purposes.
Now, I don't think that can be done until the board approves it, right? I don't think the board can, the school cannot, I don't believe they can enter into a contract until it's approval of the board.
Okay.
isn't it on the approval of the board, the contracts?
It's signed, it's already signed. Again, somebody has got ahead of themselves here and done something that's not really been approved. I don't have the policy thing in front of me now, but I did the other day. It says all contracts must have board approval before,
Or superintendent.
that's not the way it reads. I don't have it in front of me.
Regardless, I did not sign.
Oh, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, you make sure to do this stuff in order. And I'm pretty sure that cannot be signed until we approve it here at the meeting.
Okay.
Any other questions about that?
Nope.
Okay.
So would the board then like to hold the compensation to that and act on it next month or this month? How would the board like to?
Go with it right now.
Yeah, I think it will be approved.
And then approve it.
See, so necessarily it won't be approved.
Okay, so the approval of the expenditure then authorizes the contractual obligations of the
I
contract.
would agree with that, that will be, yes. The approval of the bill would authorize the contract.
Okay.
For the skid steer?
So basically what you're asking is, in the future, you want us to, if we're gonna enter into,
Any contract,
per the policy, we need to.
any contract
We need to approve it first,
has to have board approval.
and then it can
And
be
authorizing the
signed.
bill would be approved. That's a blanket approval.
I didn't see it.
So it's, we're paying on it now?
Yep.
Already?
Well, we're approving the authorization, we haven't cut the check.
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess I didn't realize we had to pay anything yet, already.
We don't have
Have
to.
to pay anything.
Was there?
We are agreeing to pay.
Yeah. Was there actually, in this, in the, I don't have it with me, well, I do probably, but it said that if we didn't use the hours, there was some vague verbiage about not being as much money or something. Was there anything actually in the contract that,
No, it is essentially to the discretion of the deal.
Evan came and was saying if we were way under on hours, or under on hours, that we'd be a little bit back to.
We're
it's all
contract-
just,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, we're contractually bound to that dollar.
so we're bound to $6,800.
Yeah.
Yep,
Unless maybe they change their mind.
I'd say it's less.
Or we go over.
Or we go over. Let's hope for not that much snow.
I like that. Multiple reasons. Okay. I mean, it'd be nice if that verbiage was in there, but I suppose they use some stuff.
It's a standard sauce.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to get, I worked on it a little bit today, but Mr. Wentz was also out sick today.
No,
so-
that's all right, that's all right. I just, You know, I just like to do things certain ways.
All right. Anything else?
Was there anything else? I actually do not.
I had a question on the auditorium.
Yeah.
Did any of it come out of 60? Or was it all out of 61? Because I thought some of it was going to be out of 60. Everything's on here is out of 61.
If it's 61, then that came out of the enhancements.
Well, does that be a decision because you think there's a little extra money in 61, so you just took all of that?
Yes.
No. You see,
You have more flexibility within 60. 61,
Right.
you're bound to those bonded expenditure
Yeah.
allotments.
I left my notes on the kitchen table. I was in a hurry to get here. I was late getting home. And I think we've pretty well covered.
I was too.
Yeah, I know.
I get it. All right.
I normally don't forget those.
So we need a roll call for
The
the
bills.
motion for the bills.
Johnson,
Yes.
Marr,
Yes.
Oldfield,
Yes.
Slack,
Yes.
Stanley, no, Brewer,
Yes.
and Farrell.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, request for public hearing.
Okay.
We're just making sure that we have our
We're checking.
clerical obligations met.
We're attempting.
Thank you.
How's that? We're attempting to be.
Thank you for your diligence. Your due diligence.
Renee is missed, let's say.
Yes, yes, she is.
So are we voting for the rest of it? So we'll.
No, we did not.
We already did that.
Those two votes.
We voted for the amendment.
Yeah, we voted for one.
This was the
one,
bills.
two, or one.
Vote for the amendment, then you still have to vote for the main motion, right?
You know what, I think I must be right, we never actually voted.
We voted to amend, you're right, we
Voted
voted
to
to
amend
amend
it.
it, but we didn't vote to, actually vote on 1, 3, 4, and 5.
So it's approved.
All right, so I need a motion, and second for the approval of minutes. Financial report, destroy verbatim minutes, 5 correspondence, and 6 junior high conference attendance.
Second.
Kelly and BJ?
Kelly made the
Kelly made the motion.
Kelly made the
Second.
motion, BJ second.
All right.
And
So
roll
we'll
call.
vote, starting with, Marr,
Yes.
Oldfield,
Yes.
Slack,
Yes.
Stanley, yes. Brewer,
Yes.
Crowley,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Good catch. Yep. We'll get better at that.
Still not sure if you're right.
No, well, no, we should have,
The
Josh,
motion was
before we
already
did
there,
that.
we didn't have to make another one.
Do what?
The motion was already there, we didn't have to make another one.
You amended it, just approved
We should have voted for the amended agenda item before moving on to the bills. That's what we should have done.
Yes, before we went to the vote, that is correct.
Went exactly backwards, but we got it done. It's a struggle every day. We're back through it. All right, request for public hearing. Meeting protocol requires that the board agenda item proposal for the public to be requested a minimum of 5 days prior to the meeting. However, if anyone would like to speak, you can step to the podium now. No one signed up?
Nope.
All right. Seeing no one, we'll move on to the presentation.
I really thought he was gonna stand up there like, wow.
What's he got to say?
That's why I was kind of like, whoa, that's not left fielder.
Make a move.
More paper for you. One of the duties and tasks that have been assigned to me is to head up our positive climate community or committee. It kind of started in May of 2018. Prior to me coming here, we had some parents that approached the board with some bullying issues. So one of the things we put together was a kind of an anti-bullying committee. I didn't like the name of it, so we tried to find a different way to kind of handle that, so it's positive climate. And it's really because we handle more than just the bullying aspect of things here at school. The things that we do is we try to identify social emotional needs for the district, and then work together, come back to Dr. Chatterton or work with Dr. Chatterton to address those needs that we have. We did come up with kind of a mission for our, a mission statement for our committee. This was done at one of the very first meetings that we had last year, but basically it's kind of copied off of some other things, but kind of given a little Farmington twist to it. But at Farmington Central School District 265, we believe that everyone has a right to be listened to and a right to be heard. We seek to respect everyone. We seek to respect one another, understanding that we have a duty and a responsibility to care for those around us. Our Positive Climate Committee propagates this message, and each member works hard to stop bullying in our school. We meet on a monthly basis to conduct a robust and effective approach to prevent bullying in our school. Like I said, though, it's not just the bullying. We've kind of taken on all types of social emotional needs for our district. We do have some goals set for the school year. And I know I hit upon this briefly at our last meeting, but I'll kind of go into a little bit more detail. October is National Bullying Prevention Awareness Month, and we kind of bring that all together on October 23rd with Unity Day. Unity Day is from the Pacers National Bullying Prevention Center, and they make a call to schools to kind of join together, unite as one, and march together in unity to show that we are against bullying. So we started this last year, so we'll have our second annual one. We're going to begin about 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the 23rd, and weather pending, we'll be doing a march around the building as one district. It's pretty neat to watch 12 to 1,300 kids kind of marching around in unison all the way around our complex. We had some great pictures from the drone taken last year of our students marching around the building, and we have that great weather again. It's going to be a great turnout. We've got a couple of things lined up for that, but the one thing I wanted to kind of focus on a little bit today was what the high school came up with, and they're going to do their own Unity Day, but we have an early dismissal on October the 24th. So their Unity Day is kind of more of a get-together and a bunch of volunteer projects in and around the building. And Mrs. Berkland has been taking that and working with Mr. McMillan, but there's so many different clubs and organizations. She's got this whole packet put together. They're going to have a pep assembly in the morning, but all day long it's one of the things what she's doing is her culinary class is producing 30 pies for a chili supper on the 26th. You got yearbook club going around and capturing moments of the day. The theater is doing a play run through and doing theater games, and there's all kinds of different things that the high school is going to be doing throughout the course of the day. And it's just kind of all once again tied together with the recognizing and being against the bullying and kind of doing this all together as one. So if you're around on the 23rd and the 24th to see those things, I would highly encourage you to come out and see what they have going on. The junior high is actually going to be live streaming an event from Houston, Texas into the auditorium on the 17th. So it's new to us. We've never done this before, but I kind of watched some of the events that have taken place before. It just really fits in well with the anti-bullying message. And I've also invited our 5th grade students to attend as well. So they'll be 5th through 8th grade in the auditorium watching this live event on Thursday. And then the elementary school is also doing some various lessons they're building into their schedule, and Mrs. Hanlon's taking care of those things for the elementary school. So it's a very busy month for our committee. It's probably the busiest month that we have altogether, but our other goals include either in November or December bringing a speaker in for the community to hear regarding cyberbullying. So we'll have to work a time to where we can get that speaker lined up, reserved, and put into place, and kind of invite the community out to the school and to hear about the dangers of cyberbullying. In the early spring, we're also planning another community event to bring people in, possibly a movie in the district auditorium. I know I brought up the movie Overcomer once before, but again, it just ties in well with the social emotional learning in our building. And then May will be another big month for our committee. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And mental health is becoming a real big issue at current events and things we want to kind of make sure our students are aware that not everybody's the same. It's okay to be different, but to make sure that we're doing all the things to keep our mental health in check. This district has been extremely proactive at the social and emotional needs of the school. If you came over to the junior high, I'd be more than happy to show you around. We put up mindful stations last year where we have kids that just need a break in the classroom. Instead of them blowing up and getting in trouble, sometimes they just go take a walk, and there's little stations that are built around the junior high where they can go and just do a small little brain exercise, and then they walk and continue to the next one. That's really cut down on a lot of problems in the classroom. Dr. Chatterton put in a sensory room. It's located down in the junior high. If you've not seen that room yet, I'd be more than happy to take you down. There's a big, gigantic jungle gym in there. It's a place where I've seen kids that are going in. In fact, I had a student today that was having a little bit of a problem, a meltdown. We got him into the sensory room. He swung on the swing for a little bit, and after a couple minutes, he was in a position where he could talk to us and let us know what was going on. So that sensory room is definitely being utilized, and it's doing a lot of great things. But I'll be more than happy to show you around that as well. We've added a part-time junior high counselor to the school, which has done great things for the students. We have a lot of students with a lot of different needs, and the principal's not always able to help out as much as I'd love to help out with those kids. I have had to pass some of that on to her, and she's doing a fantastic job of meeting the needs of our students. We've also added a crisis interventionist in the district, and that would be Maddie Botter. We're still learning that position and all the things that can be going on, but when we have kids in the sensory room, she's in there working with those students and de-escalation tactics to kind of bring that student down from being too worked up to function at school to where they can come down and talk about what's going on and why they're having the problems that they're having. And then we added additional days to the school social worker, which I think is pretty awesome. Mrs. Jones, working grades 6 through 12. She's here 5 days a week now, so she's 2 days in the junior high, 3 days in the high school. That's a phenomenal addition to having her here all week long. And then our SEL program this year is Second Step, and we've heard nothing but great things from our junior high staff about the character building that that's doing for our students. It's also problem-solving techniques. There's just a lot of really great things that are in that program that we're able to use, and that's all things that we brought up in the past with our Positive Climate Committee and what we're continuing on as we're moving forward with it. But we meet monthly on the last Monday of the month. So our next meeting is October the 28th at 3:15. Mrs. Frawley is on that committee, and I know she could probably say there's a lot of great things going on, but the parents that we have, we've had some that, because of work obligations, haven't been able to come, so we're always looking to add more community members to the committee, because right now, it really is 1 or 2 active parents, and then a couple of active, our teachers that we've asked to be on the committee, and then board member and myself. So it's going really well, and I'm continuing to look forward to great things with it. Yes, sir.
We go up to the board convention in November, and every year I stop and talk to the state troopers that are down there at their booth. They have quite a few, from what I remember from last year, quite a few topics that they discover or discuss, whether it be bullying or cyberbullying or anything along those lines. I was noticing that you were saying that you're looking for possible speakers. Might be an interesting avenue to take. I don't know how the kids would respond to a state trooper being in the school, but
Yeah, well, I'm not super familiar with the state's attorney here in Peoria County or Fulton County, but I know in Macon County, where I was at my last school, they were the ones that kind of did the presentation for the parents. So it's great to kind of have that aspect of the law and then the court side behind it all, kind of bringing that in. But they were more of, this is what you need to be looking for. Here are the websites right now where we're seeing a lot of problems and issues coming from, on the lawyer side of it. So I think it's kind of good to have parents just aware of the apps that are available to their kids right now and what they're doing with those apps.
well, these were going to be done by, I was talking to a gentleman, him and his partner, I can't remember her name, but anyway, I don't remember either names. There's a male-female partner, and they specifically went out to school themselves and did the presentations. Honestly, look into it a little more, into the cards.
If you got anything, send it my way.
Yeah,
I might be able to
definitely.
take a look at it. Naperville? I'm sure we have some great resources in Peoria. It's just, I'm still trying to familiarize myself. I know Mr. McMillan had a great speaker come in last year for high school, so we've got a couple of names on our list. But carrying them and getting them in. And it's not just for our students, it's for the whole community. Having an assembly at night, inviting people to come out and sit in the renovated auditorium and hear the speaker on a pretty serious topic, I think it's going to be great for our community.
Anybody have anything else? All right. Thank you very much. All right, action items. Emergency plan. Fiscal year 2020 emergency plan. The plan is updated each year. There are very few changes to this year's plan, so we will need for the board to take action. One of the main adjustments is the fire alarm clause for evacuating the building. Mr. McMillan is available to address any questions. Anybody have any questions on that?
How do you get that?
What is the fire alarm clause? Did you,
Well, it's now been recommended because of trigger drills and things like this, that after a fire alarm has been told to wait a period of time. Number one, to see if it actually goes off, it's a false alarm or something like that. But the other reason, of course, the incident in Florida, where that's the tactic they use, they hold fire alarm, wait for the students to come outside and assault. It was recommended that we go 3 minutes from the state. We met in Peoria at the beginning of the year in August, and we had a discussion over this. It did seem logical to wait. However, we thought 3 minutes was a very long period of time. And so what we decided to do was to wait 90 seconds instead, and we would reevaluate that at the beginning of the year. So this was actually a decision made by all the county schools. It was also supported by the fire department as well. So now when the fire alarm is pulled, teachers have been noted to look out in the hallways, wait and pause, use good judgment. At the end of the minute and 30 seconds, they are then to evacuate the building unless they see an imminent threat, unless they see a fire right in front of them or smoke or something like that. This also allows us to, if there for some reason is a fire alarm pulled for whatever miscellaneous reason, which every once in a while does happen, that we have a chance to now rectify the situation for the building.
Do you have like when somebody pulls an alarm, is there a board somewhere that pops up what alarm was pulled? You know
Yes.
where to go? Okay, yes, that makes it easy.
You can tell rather quickly where it came from. Sorry, it's actually a lot more work to call the alarm company and go through all the passwords and everything to get everything deactivated than it is to turn the alarm on.
Okay. All right, I need a, thank you, Mr. McMillan. Need a motion and a second to approve the emergency plan as presented for the 2019-2020 school year.
So moved.
Vote, Marn,
Yes.
Oldfield,
Yes.
Slack,
Yes.
Stanley, yes, Brewer, Brawley,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Snow removal contract with Aaron Holtz Excavating. They have agreed to once again maintain their pricing from last year. Motion and a second to approve the 1-year contract extension with Aaron Holtz Excavating for snow removal for 2019-2020 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Looks like it's, oh, go ahead, Bill.
This is probably a stupid question, but this is, we have the skid steer just for like the sidewalks and
Correct.
smaller. This is the big.
Yeah.
Okay.
Air Holds would specifically do the parking lots.
That's what I thought, but I just want to make sure it was clear on that.
Yeah, the skid steer has a broom on it, it's supposed to give us a better finish.
Right.
Same with the concrete.
Air Holds is the only one around this area that can handle this size.
I was just curious, what was the bill last year for like snow removal? We had a little snow, I mean, it was.
We did have a little bit of snow.
I'll include that for you guys. There's a chart here, so you can look at it.
Oh, okay. I was just
So
curious.
they charge by the piece of equipment, so.
I
there's
saw
no-
there was, each equipment had an hourly rate, I just kind of
How
wondered.
how many pounds of salt, everything like
Yeah,
that?
it had a salt, how much
Yeah,
salt cost.
that's-
Yeah. I'll get that.
I'm just curious.
We were over what we estimated, I know that.
It snowed more than it normally does, I think.
Well, if we have a year like 2006, we're gonna be way over, but.
All right, roll call, please.
Ovian,
Yes.
Slack,
Yes.
Stanley, yes. Brewer,
Yes.
Crawley,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Marr.
Yes.
School improvement plans. Each year, the schools collaboratively develop school improvement plans that align to the district's goals and individual buildings' needs. The building principals are available if you have any questions during the discussion portion of the board action. Need a motion and a second to approve the school improvement plans for FCES, FCJH, and FCHS as presented.
So moved.
Second.
I looked at that, they look really good.
They
They really look
I
good.
appreciate your time and effort.
A lot of good effort on that, clarity, yes.
Oh, that's good.
Well, that's good.
It's nice to see that. See that.
Any questions? You guys have any comments you'd like to share? You're excited to get going, is that, that was the next thing I was gonna hear, right? Okay. Pretty much ongoing, just put it in writing. All right. Roll call, please.
Slack,
Yes.
Stanley, yes. Brewer,
Yes.
Crawley.
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Marr.
Yes.
Ovian.
Yes.
All right. Moving on to discussion section. Number 1, Code of Ethics, number 10. I will strive for a positive working relationship with the superintendent, respecting the superintendent's authority to advise the board, implement board policy, and administer the district. Number 2, committee reports. Curriculum, you guys had a meeting September 12th and October 10th. Anything there that you could share with the rest of the board that you'd like to share with the public?
There's a lot of good coming out of it so far. I mean, we've kind of gotten a really good handle on what the goals are for the committee this year and where focuses in curriculum need to be addressed. I know junior high math was really brought up as a place we need to look at. Curriculum for new science and social studies in the junior high. The elementary still has got a constructive reading program. And the high school, they were redoing their course catalog and there was some discussion on things being dropped and added courses.
Okay.
And we set up subcommittees.
I'm sorry? What-
The
what-
goals for the year, we set up subcommittee members.
Okay.
And things, so things are actually starting to roll on.
Yeah.
I feel like we're really getting there now.
Unfortunately, I didn't make it to that meeting, but I had 2 questions that you guys can answer. The board policy, you discussed the meeting before about changing that. Is that gonna go forward, or we're
We're
gonna?
supposed to be looking into it, I think we're giving it to the policy committee,
It'll move to policy
because they
committee.
will look at it and decide and then make recommendations.
Good job.
So within 6.4, just a general overview, if I can interrupt. The general overview basically delegates I as the person to bring forth curricular decisions for the board to make. I feel as though now, like, I theoretically am still bringing it with the assistance of the curriculum council. Like, the board should never consider an action without the curriculum first passing through the curriculum council. Whether the policy is actually taken or you just have a practice as a board is, you want things to travel through the curriculum council, that's to be discussed at the policy level. You get kind of gray on, I always get skittish on making changes to policy outside of press, which has legal counsel, but that doesn't prevent the district from writing their own policy, but it's your policy, right, as you wish, but we'll just take it to the policy committee and they can make a recommendation.
Well, I totally understood K's intent there, and I think we need to keep that in mind, well, the policy committee kind of look at it. And they can meet anytime, they don't just annually do that.
Whenever, traditionally, when press sends, hey, you need these
Okay.
updates, that next, the agenda to go out.
Okay.
Yep. So, whenever press sends updates.
I say you might be meeting,
Yeah.
might be meeting this month then.
Might be a couple months.
Well, yeah, it's not as.
I was just gonna add it to whenever,
I was saying
whenever the
that.
policy committee met next time, I was just gonna add 640 to it as a
Yeah.
discussion item.
I'd say next Saturday.
The other thing was just briefly in the reading thing, the line, the curriculum is spiraling, that means what?
So, here, like, when you teach the standards and such, so traditionally, like in math, it's concrete, sequential, you learn the skill, and then you build upon that, and you build upon. In spiraling, you just keep circling back to the concepts and the standards, and you keep strengthening and building on it while you're moving on.
Different approach.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is very common in English language arts
Okay.
and mathematics and English, it's more sequential, although there are always features of both.
Okay. Oh, I'm just having clarification on
Anything else on curriculum? Okay. Moving on. Delegate, we do need to talk about delegates now for the school board convention. Mr. Slack?
I won't say I'm probably not gonna be able to go.
Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. We're getting pushed back even farther, aren't we?
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I'd do it in the future.
So, what's that?
I said if I might do it in the future.
Yeah, so here's what
Yeah, probably not.
I think what I'll do, because I've spoken to BJ, Kate, do you have any, are you going to school? No, you're not this year, not this year. Kelly, myself, and BJ, I've talked to both of them. I kind of feel that when we go to the school board convention, the sessions that are available to us are maybe a little more valuable sometimes than what the delegate convention is. We're voting at the delegate convention, but there's not really too many things that are very close. So I think what I'm gonna do is kind of put it as a placeholder, and I'll put it as myself, as a placeholder, unless somebody else wants to do it. If anybody else wants to do it, you can have it. Or if you decide that maybe we'll, because when we get our booklet, or you download the app and you figure out what sessions you really want to go to, we can kind of game plan at that point. We used to meet for breakfast and decide who was going to what and kind of game plan that way. And maybe we just see who's available and we send the delegate that way.
If you can do that,
I think that kind of keeps us flexible and who's going to do that. And then between now and the next board meeting, because we'll need one more time before the school board convention, if everybody can maybe take a look at those issues, or I'll try to carve out some time to look at those issues and kind of bullet point them for everybody. Yes?
It's my thinking, I guess, I'm curious, last year, I know Ron represented
loved
us,
it.
and he loved going.
Yep.
But I know last year, there really wasn't any of the votes that pertained to our district.
Well, yes and no.
The bottom line is really, and look at, anybody can watch this on YouTube, I suppose, to go on record as saying that just about anything that's on that agenda is going to be owned north of I-80.
Meaning who decides?
Downstate Illinois does not necessarily win at anything, you know, if it's a rural setting. Last year, one of the issues was, they had 3 different options for,
Concealed carry.
Yeah, concealed carry.
That's one that would affect us.
Yeah, so rural
absolutely.
communities have to react probably differently for allowing an administrator or someone on campus with concealed carry than an inner city school who has a police officer right out front or in their building. But you get way out in the country, well, that's a different issue. We felt like, well, we should leave that up to the school district to decide their policy. Well, that got blown out of the water because, you know, there's so many people, the convention's north of 80, everybody's, you know, a huge amount of school districts north of 80.
70% of the state's population is
Exactly.
4 counties basically out there.
Yeah, so so that, the way we feel about it, or the way a rural district, even more rural than what we feels about it, doesn't matter.
I'd still be best if somebody could do it with that.
It would be
If not, Because there were, I did read through that, and there were a handful of things that had good information and be pertinent, and several things that are.
I'm gonna do my best to make it.
And
No, I understand what you're saying too, that maybe,
Yeah.
you know.
There might be things that are more valuable that we can learn that can help us right here.
But if the three of you could maybe juggle, if one of them could slip into it, that would be.
I'm hoping.
I did it, my first year I went, and after that, I quickly realized that my vote, in my humble opinion, didn't seem to matter. Ron
Oh, your vote.
well, that's why I vote in every election that I can possibly, because I want my vote to at least feel that matters. But Ron wholeheartedly disagrees with me, but he thinks that you've got to be there and you've got to at least have your one vote, even though the conceal and carry vote carried by, I want to say like 214 votes. He reported on, he knew exactly how many it carried by, but his opinion that it was very close. And so it does carry some merit, and in my opinion, a lot of those, like Chad was saying, a lot of those things that get brought up by North of 80.
If you read through, there's one of those that talks about a police force at a school. They already had a police force. The only police force ever on the way to school was in the city of Peoria. It only pertains to one school district.
Yeah. That's the stuff that, yeah, I mean,
It's like, well, that doesn't even affect anybody else.
when you have school districts like Cuba or Valley, that would not even come close to.
Well, let me ask you this question. Does a school district of 10,000 people have one vote, and a school district of 500 people have one vote?
True statement.
So, I mean, a lot of towns now do.
Get us all together one time.
Yeah.
I understand that too, but I mean.
And there are a lot of schools that, and I've talked to some friends from down, South Springfield and south of there. They don't think that it's beneficial to go to that convention and to learn anything. Well, it doesn't affect our school district. It's not gonna. Yeah, it does affect your school district because it affects you as a school board member to make better decisions, more educated decisions. So we strongly disagreed on that aspect of it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens when we get our,
Sounds
so, I thought maybe this was,
No.
Okay, labor management.
We met the Giannini Fund. There are 3 staff members and 3 parents who are serving on a committee. Revenues are around $10,000, and they were taking applications until October 9th, so they should have enrollment by now.
they're gonna meet last week and they're gonna push back because Mr. Dallas is out.
And we discussed some time clock issues, and then there was a concern for lack of janitorial, custodial subs, because some of the elementary rooms weren't getting the garbage empty and different things done. And so there was concerns expressed for that for multiple days. One day is one thing more. And they revisited the issue of the open house time.
Okay. Policy, you guys have quite a while now. Next week on a sunny day though, right? Transportation.
You missed building and grounds.
I did, I already put it out. Sorry, building and grounds.
You're on that one.
I am. I crossed it out prematurely.
Yes, you
My-
did.
We'll come back to building and grounds. So building and grounds, what we got?
Go ahead, Alex, you can start, buddy.
Well, the big thing was the skid steer.
Yep.
So something Eric, we did talk about was, it's gonna save us a little money. We were spending $3,500 on salt. He thinks we're gonna cut that in half. So there's a little savings there. I know it's not, doesn't make up.
Well,
Also, it's a safety thing, because, so it does come out of our tort fund, so.
I did understand. It would have been nice, I mean, I understand it was kind of a stock lease thing. It really would have been nice to have some real details about it. Well, these 100 hours cost this much. 50 hours this month, I mean, really break that down hard. I mean, we're wide open there to pay $600 and never use the thing.
Well, and maybe it's my naive mind, but I can't foresee Flickinger's and either of the two owners of that treating the school district that way, but.
Well, you're entering into a contract on behalf of the school district. Your obligation is to do it correctly, and that's strong, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, yes, you and I would agree with Flickinger's wide open on whatever, I trust him implicitly. But something like this, you gotta be a little more careful about that.
It's more of a month thing. I mean, the hours is total.
Total amount, yeah.
But,
Mhm.
you know, if we don't need it for a month, then you say you won't charge us.
Yeah.
So you could just drop off 1,700 and that would be
Basically, you gotta pick it up, say,
Yeah.
March comes around, it's,
What if we don't use it February, though? We use it in March and
I
January?
don't know.
He didn't say anything.
Ask them to pick it up and then bring it back.
Yeah, I mean, I let it snow yesterday.
Yeah, it snowed again.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Oh, and the other thing, as time goes forward, you know, they do make hydraulic pumps that mount on the PTO of the tractor, and probably power that some other way. That would be an option short of having a skid loader.
Yeah, it's, we were talking to Evan about that, about the tractor that we have. And we didn't talk specifically about a PTO mounted pump, but just the size of the tractor that we have, and it's mainly for the small stuff that we do. The biggest thing between that machine and the skid steer is the turning radius of it. There is a lot of times that out here, whether it's on the corners or wherever, on the corner, it'll scout the grass. So we gotta come back in the spring and fix that. With a skid steer, it's gonna be staying right on the cement. It's going to be a better fit for our sidewalks. Is one of the main reasons that we kind of looked into it. Alex was one of the leads on the skid steer, which was a great idea. So that way we can utilize it as opposed to having problems with getting around with the big tractor. I mean, small utility tractor, but, yeah.
So, you guys have anything else on this? I was just gonna add that Chip was here from mechanical.
Yeah, that's fine.
Went through a lot of our, basically, kind of a little bit of an update on our audit, physical audit, basically, of the building. And that was very, very valuable to be able to talk through some of that stuff. Talk through, you know, air handlers and different things and what our maintenance schedule is gonna be going forward. That was a good discussion. Talk about what our, we don't really have any, we have some fixed maintenance costs, but then, you know, what our window is to replace things. We're 15 years into the building, things are gonna start to fail. And what our backup plan is gonna be.
I you know, talk about board life, 25, 30 years, and that's gonna be a huge obstacle, so.
Yeah, that we talk about.
Yeah, we talked about, I don't remember the specifics. There's a different type of boiler that could save us energy costs. So we talked about maybe looking in the next 5 to 10 years, putting that in, because we're gonna have to replace them all.
We're gonna fail.
Yeah, basically have that backup, because we can run it right now with 2, right? I think that was the discussion, we can run on 2. We got
It would help us, it doesn't heat as much as the other ones, this new one, but if we did a new one, because right now it's heating to whatever temperature,
180.
and then cooling back down in the summer. So if we got one that heated, not 120 or something like that.
110 to get there. Yeah.
And then it'd be more efficient.
It's a condenser boiler, and it would be used to power the air conditioning units, where the we used to power it's the same, in essential, that's what we're doing right now. We're shutting 2 down in the summertime and using 1 to power the chiller units, and then we come in the winter months, fire them up, heat the school with it. But this
one was more efficient, right?
yeah, this condenser one would not heat up to 180 degrees, it only heat water to 110, which is more energy efficient, since we don't need to go to 180, but that's what the boiler is right now. So,
Is that Chip, is that somebody who works for us or works?
Work for Mechanical, we consult with them, they basically do some of that backup work, you know, they come out and do some cleaning of the systems and things. You can address that, I don't understand.
Our system was trained, the building was built, and you had to be a trained license. I'm going to oversimplify this, but you had to be a trained vendor essentially to be able to work on train. Since the time that the building was built, the local train dealer is closed. I noticed, when I arrived here, some significant train bill because the service calls had to come out of the Quad Cities. And so we started looking at different vendors who can come in and service our needs and such. So I think we brought in, this was early, like 2017. A couple of different vendors, and Mechanical had the lowest flat rate, and they had it on-site billable time as opposed to travel time. The primary reason why they gave us that rate is because their technician is very close to our campus. They're pretty honest and forthright people in that their recommendation is to get a generalized platform that for our software of all of our equipment, that it doesn't, if you do the training modules for train, you are authorized and not negating any of the warranty work or anything that train would cover as far as their systems. But you have to have the universal platform for your software that alerts you to all of your motherboard for all of your HVAC needs. Right now it's a specific vendor piece of equipment, and so we're going to look at the possibility of doing that. And they know, and I told Chip, so we'll call we can call any service every once in a while. We got to call somebody else to just come out and do a service call just to get, you know, a fair comparison as far as price of work and such. And if you have this neutral platform, you can do that. Right now, Mechanical certified. There were two other, I can't remember the other two vendors. I want to say it's a white truck,
That's
a red truck,
four black tires.
and
that's what I'm saying, I bet they were
and I
pro,
believe
too.
the other one was Intech. I can't remember what the white, but there were three. It doesn't matter. Anyway, an update as far as our software, as far as the motherboard for all of our HVAC is also needs to be considered.
Which, with that system, that allows specifically Doug to be able to pull up on his phone what's going on with the system here at the school. So if there's any problems, he can address it quickly.
A couple weekends ago, Doug and I were both out here wandering around on Sunday night. I knew I was never going to figure out, so I left Doug here. He eventually got out here and figured it out, which zone it was at here. Air conditioning was down in one of them.
Did we heard anything back about possible lightning strike or?
You know, I haven't heard anything back.
Just from the insurance side.
No.
There's a lightning strike close. Took some stuff out of the library, I know that. I think Compton's office had some issues as well with phones. I don't know if the grocery store had anything, but anyway, power surge and that air handler happened to be right at the same time, so we're kind of wondering if maybe it fried something in that computer on that. In fact, at the library, I did hear that, Andy said that there were actually black streaks on the electronics board. That's
Wow.
communication.
Yeah.
That is, so, all right. Transportation. Anything to report there?
Well, yeah, we got a lot to report. Went on about a 2-hour bus ride.
Whew!
It was all of that too. There's some areas of the school district that the buses don't need to be, the roads are hazardous, so they took us out, we rode on those routes. There's some concerns.
Yeah, there's some major concerns. We learned there are some roads that the buses go down that there is only one way to turn around, and that is in residential driveways, however unfortunate that may be, but that's the only option, is to turn around the residential driveway. And with doing so, that puts the bus in very close proximity to a lot of houses, a lot of the owners' houses. So we learned about some of those, and then they educated us on where the winter contingent plan would be for children and students to come gather at it, bus and pick you up at a certain spot. It would be the parents' responsibility to get the children, the students to that spot. If they don't, the parents don't feel that it's safe conditions to get the children there, or can't get them there for any number of reasons, it will be an excused absence. They will be allowed to make up the homework or educational work that they would do on that day. So that was a very good, safe option for our students. There are a couple houses that you've got to, it seems to me, to get a head start on and get a little bit of steam built up, and then stop at the top of the hill before you go down the other side of the hill. So Miss Brewer is one of those houses. It's, in my opinion, pretty dangerous for a bus in the wintertime.
I got a colorful text from Beijing that night.
Yeah. I was not personally going to be driving a bus up and down that road, but that's just me.
Well, I think there's some areas where they've had issues in the past, but
There are.
buses getting stuck because they can't get going on the hills
It's a good plan to bring together. It's going to keep our students safer.
That's something new, I mean, but it did before. I mean, when I was in school, they did some of that. But
When I was in school, they never did. We always went to Gene and Mary and Travis Griffner's house and got stuck twice, 3 times a week with snow.
So this is a new thing. Are we gonna?
I think that.
Yeah, it's hard to
is when you and I were in school, I know we had like main roads only.
Right, that's right.
They just run buses main roads only, and I don't know that anybody really knew what
It
main
went-
roads were. I mean, you just kind of assumed, okay, Farmington Road.
With lines on it.
The ones with lines on
hard
it.
road.
The hard road, exactly.
If you could get to 116, you could get to school.
Or if you could get to Logan.
Not,
Yeah,
and that's-
exactly.
And that's the
Wasn't
thing.
it?
Kids could get to Logan.
When I was in school, it must have stopped at that point because we went and rewrote on the route. So it's now coming back around as another cycle to help the kids.
After being out on roads like mine, you understand why it needed to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
So are you, I mean, like, so is Kelly gonna get a letter saying, hey, here's what's up,
Yes.
here's how we're gonna handle it? Okay.
Yes, Mr. Vallis is going to be sending, I do believe, either mid-October, it might be extended out now. He was, I mean, yes, he was planning on sending out, I think, like 15th or 20th of October.
Plan on having it out so everybody would have it by the first of November.
Yeah, by the 1st of November. Whether that happens now because of his situation, I don't know for sure, but they will also get an email, and I don't know about how they go involved, but there's going to be communication out to them. So,
Amy's available during.
yes.
Get to the bag.
He's also going to, in this letter, set up a time with him and Wes, the coordinator, specifically for them to be available for anybody that has any concerns.
During the teacher conferences, I think.
Is that one? Oh, okay, I thought it was a different time. Sorry, my bad.
Anything else?
Parent-teacher conference is next week.
Next week.
Yeah, I bet it's not gonna be then.
Wednesday, Thursday, right?
Early hours.
Yeah. Is there school on that Friday? I didn't think so. Okay.
Well, let's jump back to building and grounds. There's enhancement projects, future projects, lots of stuff here we didn't cover. Yeah,
Okay.
we go into this.
Thank
now?
you. Yeah.
Sure.
I forgot about it.
I know.
I don't have my notes.
Oh, I know, that's fine. So let's just jump back in there and keep going.
We got an update on the softball.
Yeah.
They're started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the,
Which one?
there's a couple changes on that.
Doors. Doors and the windows, because we can't do the, for health reasons, we can't do the conventional slide down and lock the windows, so.
The manufacturing shop is on schedule, I guess, of some sort. 28th.
Looks pretty close.
Does it?
Yeah, I drove out there.
We're
Moving
ready
it
to
right
roll,
now?
right? They say we'll be ready by the 28th, right? That's what they say. Who's they? Yeah, it is hard to look at when it's that far away and when it looks that far. You look at the building, so.
You see the bathrooms?
They did that, right?
Yeah.
That's right, that did move really quick. Yeah,
Exactly.
Everything just slammed together and it worked. Okay,
And they fall apart, the bathrooms?
No?
not yet.
Haven't used them.
I mean, you got duct tape on the tiles, but that's not a big deal.
The grout holding it.
What about the slab to the van?
We don't have a spot for that van trailer, it's just kind of, you'll see it in different spots all over the campus. There's no real spot for it.
We talked about that during the,
Give me an walk around.
yeah, because me and you were talking about,
Yeah.
they can turn around in that spot right there. Yeah.
So we just want to have a place that they can put it, it's not, I mean, in the summer, heck, it was sitting out in the grass for a while out by the walking trail, and it's just been kind of all over.
Can't get, is there no way we can get inside somewhere? That'd be, yeah,
I wish, but no.
Space restricted, I suppose.
Because the maintenance shed's taken up by our mowers and stuff like that, and then the other half is taken up by, yeah.
That may be nice.
Oh, it'd be, yeah,
Nice.
it'd be nice.
Redo the parking lot, seems appropriate. Actually, the fitness center, getting pretty close. I mean, it says, equipment's arriving.
I mean, we have all the hardware of it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be open the 28th, right? Same day as the,
Oh, yeah.
it's what they say.
No, it's open on the 28th.
Dr. Shedd has been very adamant about that.
The outdoor classroom, what's,
Basically, all that, the future stuff is, well, not all of it, but some of that's just stuff we talked about. We haven't made decisions on that real fast right now.
Yep.
If I could interject, we're talking about those things, but a little gun shy on really pursuing any of those until we get the final bills on what we're doing right now. You know, we have a firmer number of what we're working on.
But yeah, well, we're gonna have some money left over from the bonds, so we just gotta kind of, at that point, we have to reallocate, figure out what we want to do going forward.
The tiling work is just stuff that we've been dealing with the last 8 or 10 months, I think it is.
yeah, that's been going on.
And it's something that, once harvest is over, we're going to really be able to discuss it more with the landowner. And then see where.
You contacted them, and there's a dialogue there. Yeah. What is stadium records, what is that?
So there's actually track and field records that are up on the wall in the cafeteria, the high school cafeteria.
Yeah, that's right, I see that.
It's been proposed by some former alumni, some former athletes, and former coaches that that's not where the records were made. They have proposed that we move it out towards the stadium, somewhere out in the stadium, so that they can be seen by the athletes that actually use the facilities and
So, yeah,
do that sport.
some sort of a display out there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just, again,
Sort of like the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Something like that.
yeah, just like that, just like that.
Not so much,
You
Tim.
can put a big sticker on the outside of the building, maybe, do that, try.
But like we said, that's just something we're talking about. It's no decision, just hearsay right now.
The baseball building, that's something we're gonna move forward with, right?
Yep.
Vote on once you get this.
What's that?
We'll need to vote on that, right, once you get this.
Yeah, because you're gonna be around that magical threshold. I mean, that's gonna happen quick though. I guess that's worth noting. Like to get that up yet prior to the season. So it could be as early as next month.
Do we have all the bids for both slabs, the band and the?
With Mr. Lennon's having been out some and such, I haven't seen.
Okay.
I know that he had, following the buildings and grounds, I know that he had some time to meet with those people. He met with them. I don't know if they
Okay.
submitted their bids.
Okay,
So,
good. So I mean, at least we have
yeah, he's getting,
three people or three companies, shouldn't say three companies that are interested in.
yeah, I know that he contacted three and met with three, whether they all
Good.
submit, you know, for work.
That's up to them after that. Need to work for water, you can't make a drink.
What's next?
Anything else? Okay. Positive Community Committee. Yeah, we already heard from Mr. Upmore on that. Anything else? Nothing else to add on that? Code of Conduct. Haven't done that for a while, I don't think.
That only comes up, that handbook.
Yeah. Student Board Member Selection Committee, don't need to talk about that.
Already had one.
Yep, we already got one.
Pretty quiet.
Yep, she is quiet tonight. Maybe that needs to be the placeholder for you to
Oh, yeah.
speak.
Didn't we
Not
actually,
tonight.
no, didn't we actually talk about, at some point getting I mean, maybe I'm wrong, didn't we talk about getting a report from you?
Oh, yeah, we're doing, student senate.
Yeah.
Kind of a different way. We have a meeting this week sometime. I'm gonna report back on that.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I thought we talked about that. Perfect.
You guys just want to use that for a placeholder? then?
Yeah, I think
That'd
so.
be great,
I think
yeah.
that makes sense. Well,
It's your spot.
you get to report right there.
Perfect.
That's wonderful.
Okay, I can't wait. Insurance Committee.
Basically, everything is on track for us to apply for CIE again. And they're filling out applications soon, not yet. But they've got everything in place to get them started.
Good. Great.
Don't know how it's gonna go, but we're getting there.
How does, Copple feel about getting in this year?
Yeah, I don't think they really know. I think if things look good, and if things continue going like they're going, our chances are good, but you don't know.
Cautiously optimistic.
We're being cautiously optimistic.
All right,
But things are looking good, it's just, our numbers are good so far.
good.
So Kate, just the notes we have here, it looks like that, it's showing what our cost is now versus what our cost per person would be with CIA, is that what I'm seeing there on that page?
That's a historical,
This
premium rate per month for a single coverage.
So it would be maybe a substantial,
Yeah.
yeah.
It could be substantial.
That's a $1,000 deductible.
This
Yeah.
says 500, so.
Would the
They
CIE
should
not have
have
500?
It's-
That's the thing.
Oh, yeah, that,
This was 1,000.
That's what we currently have.
Yeah. it's
500.
Oh, we're not even comparing apples to apples.
No, you compare apples to grapes.
Okay, all right. Moving on, senior trip. Not enough people that have interest in the trip to Disney this year. They will consider gauging interest for next year, looking at alternative options for the seniors that will be more affordable. Any questions about that? Mr. McMillan is here to answer questions.
Good luck.
have you guys considered like, Wisconsin Dells?
We have not considered Wisconsin Dells. A lot of that, I'm going to doing on the trip too, is familiarity. Some of the things we've talked about is, for example, like a weekend trip to Chicago. I think some of the students would prefer maybe some shopping or some stuff like that maybe involved. But again, I think the next step in the next couple of weeks is to reach out to the students and get a little more feedback from them. I think the interesting thing about the Disney trip is if we were really going to go, we'd had between 20 and 25, which would have been exactly what we'd have taken to, or historically, that's what we've been taking to Six Flags Great America. So the other question that we're asking ourselves now is that going to be the number 21 to 25? Is this really, only 20% of the class? That's going to want to go? So we're asking ourselves a lot of questions about things like this too, not just maybe rushing into something. The nice thing now with that now kind of out of the way, we have a little more time to prepare what exactly we want to do, maybe find something that would interest kids.
Does the student council or any student group participate in this selection or in this communications of what you're going to do?
They could. What we've done so far is we've used Google Forms, and we've basically done surveys just to find out, collect interest. It has been an issue, though, getting students to reply, and we've found that really the students that have are really gung-ho, or that they really want to let you know what a bad idea they think it is. And we really struggle getting sort of that middle ground, if you will, as in the case of most surveys. But that's not something that we could necessarily allow that to be an option moving forward.
I just wondered, because sometimes if the kids have, it used to be, I don't know, kids are different today. It used to be the kids, if they had a part in it, then it would grow and the enthusiasm would spread, but I don't know. Because they're, the Snapchat, that might do it now, but.
Mr. McMillan may not be aware of this, but we have had a senior officer meeting, and that's something that they're currently
Is it?
working
Okay.
on as well. It's not.
So the kids are.
There's conversation amongst the senior class of the decisions, not just.
Might want to get conversation going with the junior class too. You get things going for next year.
Speaking of, is there any thought of just like trying to Disney like every other year and do the juniors and seniors together?
We have not discussed that, but I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to that, obviously. At that rate, if we look at what we probably get, we could make the trip go. Yeah, it's something to think about.
Good idea.
I don't know.
So like terrible. All right.
Wow.
All right, board retreat. Placeholder to see if there's any other follow-up discussions. Anybody have anything else to add? Thoughts about the board retreat? I still maintain that it was very beneficial.
I'd like to apologize for Kelly changed her tire.
I'd say I still maintain that kind of stunk channel.
She had a flat tire, we were out there talking.
Everybody left. I watched them all.
All four of us were out there talking on the east side of the building, she's on her, on the north side, just flattering pancakes, so.
We were probably.
I will interject just a little bit on the communication goal. I've gotten favorable feedback on the shopper, which has been, I mean, I badger, not badger, but I inquire with the administration on a weekly basis, hey, just let me know what's going on, and we're able to put it together with relative ease on a weekly basis. It's been nice to hear that positive feedback. We've only done, and I'll type it up either tonight or tomorrow morning, the board meeting. I haven't heard any feedback on that one, but we've only done it once, so time will tell on that one. But
And did that email out to the whole staff? Is that the plan for that eventually? Maybe, I don't know if you did or not. It did go out there, but, okay, good.
The last one did.
Good, yeah, perfect.
I thought we sent it to all the Skyward email.
And I get the Glatzer Gazette. The first week it was a little rough in there, but since then they've been mailed.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, we like that price point.
I can't beat that. No, I don't.
All right, risk management plan. District maintains a risk management plan for the purposes of reducing risk to the public and what allows the district to devote tort funds to a portion of salaries. There are 4 key questions that have been answered in order to allocate funds. The individual has to not only be responsible for ensuring that safety measures are being followed, but more importantly, be in charge of evaluating and designing a plan to mitigate liability. As soon as the draft is completed with the attorney, Dr. Chatterton will be sharing it with the board. Any questions on that?
New?
No, we've always had it. I just, it becomes a gray area as far as what is a tort expendable expenditure when it comes to a salary. Like, well, how do you equate the portion of my workday to what's reducing your liability exposure. So that's why I really am investigating this, is to, not to cheat the system or anything like that, to get a true assessment of people's roles and what portion are they reducing our liability. A good example would be, you know, we have a cook staff that's responsible for taking temperatures of food and such, and that's safety, that's reducing our liability and exposure, exposing people to unsafe food. But they don't make the plan, they don't oversee it. But our director of food service, she does, that's a big part of her day and a big part of her job and such, make sure she knows those guidelines and sets those plans and procedures in place. So that's an example that kind of stands out. It's not necessarily carrying out an act of ensuring the safety. You gotta answer all these questions as far as development of plan, overseeing a plan, in addition to carrying out. It's a bigger can of worms than what I originally thought I was gonna get into, so that's why it's gonna take a little longer than 5 years.
Okay. Time for closed session. For the purpose of collective bargaining matters, personnel, consultation with legal counsel and student discipline. Get a motion in a second. Roll call.
Voice vote.
Yeah.